Alright lads, so today we are over on BBS Simulator because in less than 12 hours time we are going to be getting the end of month banner announcement, and with that, as always, we're here to discuss, theorize, and speculate what characters we can potentially get. And as always, you guys can join in on the fun too. Let me know your prediction in the comments below, and if you get any of the characters right, I'll give you guys a shout out in tomorrow's video when we do react to the 3 or 2 new characters. Now with that said, right from the get-go lads, I believe this end of month banner is going to be 1000 Year Blood War, but the question is, what characters will it actually be? Before we talk about that, let's talk about what it potentially might be in the chances not 1000 Year Blood War. And in that case, it can only be a premium or seasonal banner. On the topic of it being seasonal, right now the only seasonal banner they can do in this particular timing is a White Day banner. And I just don't see that happening. We have seen with the White Day banners, it's been like inconsistent. Some years we skip it, some years we celebrate it twice in the same month for the mid-month and end-of-month banner, like we did in March of 2022. Some years we don't even celebrate White Day when it's appropriate, and instead we get it at the end of August. So White Day has never been consistent. And my prediction for the mid-month of March for our most recent banner was that it was going to be a White Day banner. And had I known this in advance, I wouldn't have thought that. So I actually didn't realize this. It was brought to my attention that the most recent Valentine's Day summons does actually feature White Day characters as the featured units. So to me, this basically tells me that we're not getting White Day this year. I'm not that fussed about it. I actually didn't mind the most recent mid-month banner. And if end of month is hype, then yeah, I could care less about White Day. It would have been nice if we could have celebrated it. Definitely could have done it for the mid-month in my opinion. But since the White Day characters are here, they're not going to be featured again in another White Day banner, right? They were clearly featured here because Caleb have no plans to release a White Day banner. At least that's my assumption, right? So they just chose to put these characters here as fillers so they can once more be available. So to me, these characters being here, these White Day characters being here, means that we're not getting a White Day banner. So we can cross off the seasonal banner. Unless for some reason, somehow, we get a new seasonal theme. Which I doubt it. Wouldn't be opposed to it though. When it comes to premium characters, again, not really sure what they could actually do. End of month premiums are rarities, and I feel like they need to be really hype to the same level of Ichigo, Tenta, and also Ishin. This is a really good banner. This is a really good banner. We need something like that. And I know every time we potentially can get an end-of-month premium banner, the predictions are always a new Dangai Ichigo, Visor Ichigo, Full Hollow, Monster Aizen. And we're going to say that every time until it happens, right? Right now, though, I just don't see it happening since we recently just got a new Ichigo and also a new Aizen. I am hoping this year in 2024 we can get those characters, a new Dangai Ichigo, Monster Aizen, for example, but I don't feel like the timing is right for the end of month of March personally. So with that in mind, with premium seasonal context out the way, let's talk about 1000 Year Blood War. So as of right now, I feel like, and I wouldn't be surprised if every end of month until May is going to be 1000 Year Blood War. Now, that can be a good or a bad thing. I know 1000 Year Blood War burnout can be a thing, especially if there's back-to-back end of month banners that are like, you know, always must summons. You can get a bit burnt out, but then at the same time, you know, we haven't had a must summon banner at all in the year 2024. End of month February is usually the first big banner of the year, and this could have been, had it just been a 3 character banner, it could have been if Tosha was an SP character. Unfortunately, it wasn't, right? They missed the mark a bit, and that just goes to show, right, even if we do get 1000 Year Blood War, it's not always going to be a must summon. Skipping a 1000 Year Blood War banner every now and then isn't going to be a bad thing to do, and it potentially means that eventually, when they become fillers, it means a future 1000 Year Blood War banner will be more value, better value, even if it does take quite a while for them to become fillers. Now, obviously, with this particular banner, we did get Tosha and Sangdu. For the most part, it was our first Season 2 banner, and this upcoming banner, assuming it is 1000 Year Blood War, is going to be really telling for what Caleb have planned with the next set of 1000 Year Blood War characters, because right now, we're not 100% certain. Are we going in chronological order? Are we going through all the fights that happen in Season 2, or are we jumping about? I've seen a lot of character predictions, you know, Giselle, Minias, Little Toto, Squad Zero characters. All this stuff that happens in the later half of Season 2, right now it might be too early, because maybe Caleb's plan is to go through the fights in chronological order. And we'll find that out tomorrow. If tomorrow's banner is for some reason Giselle, Little Toto, Minias, just throwing random names out there, I'm not expecting that. Well, it means that anyone from Season 2 is up for grabs to get a new character whenever it comes to these new 1000 Year Blood War banners. But if tomorrow's banner is the next fight that happens in 1000 Year Blood War, Soifon vs BG9, well, that means they're going to go in chronological order. And then that would mean the next fight after that would be the next banner, Sergeant, Bambietta, and potentially a Shinji. In terms of predictions, it's not as fun to discuss and theorize because, you know, it's going in order, but you never know when Killer might change the order. Maybe they will go in chronological for a bit, and then they just break it and give us a character from like late game season 2. I mean, remember, they technically already did that, right? Giving us true Shikai Ichigo, and then they gave us Squad Zero characters at the end of season 2. But remember, these are like fake anime characters. They don't follow the anime's visuals to a T, like we saw with the most recent Sangdu and Toshiro. These characters were clearly done while the episodes were being animated, as opposed to making the characters after the episodes were animated, like we saw with these two characters and potentially every other future season 2 Thousand Year Blood character. With that in mind, then I guess my go-to prediction in the idea that they're going to go in chronological order would be Soifon and BG9. It kind of just makes sense, right? They're going to get a banner eventually, and that's one of the few banners that I don't mind being 2 characters, because who else can you include? I guess you could say they could include a Maida, but it doesn't really do anything. He doesn't look different enough to like warrant a new Thousand Year Blood character, in my opinion. And in the case for Sangdu and Toshiro, if they skipped over Bazbi and Rangiku, there's no way Omaida's getting a new character. Because in my opinion too, like even if a character doesn't do much, if they look different, that in a way warrants a new character. That's why I wanted a new Rangiku, because, you know, it's her blonde hair, time skip design, she looks cool. The Trez Bestia, for example, they have their brief little fight with Kyogre before they all get off screens, but they have new designs. They look cool. That alone, in my opinion, warrants a new Thousand Year Blood character. Omaida looks the exact same. He doesn't demonstrate anything in the fight besides, you know, just dodging. So I don't see this banner, if it is tomorrow, being a free character banner with Omaida. It'll probably just be BG9 and Soifon, which I'm kind of okay for. I'm looking forward to these 2 characters. BG9 is not my favorite Sternritter, but he does have quite the alien design compared to every other Sternritter, as opposed, kind of like Aaroniero, to be fair. Like, Aaroniero isn't a Ronka like the others, but, you know, he looks way different compared to all the other Espadas. So that's why he kind of stood out a tad bit, and I kind of see the same thing in BG9, since he's basically a robot. Soifon, I like her Thousand Year Blood design. I like the current Thousand Year Blood Soifon in-game, and she's held up really well. Still a character that I use to this day, almost like 4 years later, right? And I'm kind of hoping and looking forward to see that potentially Soifon again as an SP character, because that's the idea. They hopefully don't make her another NAD character, right? But one thing I also wanted to throw out too, what I found very interesting, and I'm very curious to see how they're gonna handle this particular part of the story. Now, when this banner dropped, Sangdu and Toshiro, they did upload the point of it story on YouTube, but only the first part. Additionally, the story itself, it briefly went through the fight with Bazbi and also Sangdu, but the story itself ends right when Toshiro activates his Hollow Bankai. We actually never see that in the story, so to me that tells me they have plans to release a Hollow Bankai Toshiro eventually. And we've been kind of joking in the last month or so that maybe end of month could be Bazbi and Rangiku. Maybe it's too soon for that. I don't know, it'd be a bit weird, but I'd be down for it. But I definitely want to say they haven't skipped over Toshiro's Bankai. If anything, they might be, maybe they are going to skip over a few moments in the Thousand Year Blood arc and then plan to go back later and do it to sprinkle up some banners. But I did find it interesting that the point of its story itself did stop right when Toshiro activated his Bankai. Now, with that said, let's talk about what the characters potentially can be. So disregarding what banner it might be, what the character will be, or more so who it will be, let's look at what we might potentially get in terms of, you know, the meta standpoint in this game. Now, what we can do is look at the new Guild Quest schedule. This recently just started and it is going all the way up until May. Now, it doesn't always tell us what character might be coming out, but we have seen in the past that new characters are timed alongside a potential guild quest, right? Most recent example, we just got the No Affiliation Killer Wonder Wise character designed for GQ, and right now we have the No Affiliation guild quest available because they want you to use and pull for that new Wonder Wise. We've seen it multiple times in the past that sometimes a character's killer reflects the current guild quest schedule. What we are seeing right now is that start of April 1st, Squad Zero guild quest is going to be available. A melee Squad Zero killer potentially has chance to be in this upcoming end of month banner. Likewise, a ranged Hollow killer is potentially seen in this end of month banner. If anything, I'm more so inclined for the ranged Hollow killer because end of month characters, unless you're getting 2 killers, I do not want to see you have human or Squad Zero killer. Especially assuming it's Thousand Year Blood, right? A range Hollow killer for an end of month banner, I can see it, I'd be down for it. Once more, we have another Squad Zero human killer. This time it's for range characters, so potential chance that we see this upcoming end of month banner features some type of Squad Zero / human killer. Then we have the Aranka GQ on the 11th to the 14th, but I feel like that's too far into the week to be designed for the potential end of month characters. Now, I'm very curious to see what this end of month banner will be, because one of the things we were most looking forward to with this end of month banner was that it was potentially going to give us a broken power character alongside a technique super links or farmer. And obviously with the most recent mid-month banner, they surprisingly gave us the OP super links or farmer that we were wanting in the technique attribute, and they did it as a mid-month premium character. Absolutely crazy. I don't mind it though, because I actually, got her, and I like having good premium mid-month characters. She's actually really good, someone you definitely want to pick up in the future. But one thing we do see, for those that aren't aware, we mention it every month, is that every month we get a new Limit Breaker character. And for the most part, Limit Breaker characters are easily some of the best characters in the game, and I don't think besides Nini, we've gotten like a non-SS tier Limit Breaker character. That's how good they are, and we get one every month. It kick-started with Yatsuri for the 8th anniversary, then we got Kilgate, a heart character. Nini was next, a mind character. Then we had Parasaruki, a power character, and then to no one's surprise, they finished up the attributes, giving us a technique character in the form of Ichibe. With Ichibe done, every attribute got their Limit Breaker character, and they're going in order. Not a direct order, they do switch it up, but they do make sure to cover every attribute with one Limit Breaker character before moving on to another attribute, right? So now that Ichibe was done as the technique character, the cycle reset, and we started that off with a mind character. That's right, to no one's surprise. I mean, we literally all called it that end of year was going to give us a new mind Yuha and probably have like a bunch of Limit Breaker skills, and to no one's surprise, he had exactly that, and he ended up being the best character in the game. It was the most predictable outcome, and the best outcome too, in my opinion, because mine needed it. After that, we then had Valentine's Day Ruruka. She was the heart Limit Breaker character. And then, of course, we had Sangdu, the speed Limit Breaker character. So since the new cycle has started, we've had a mind, heart, and speed character. So that means this upcoming banner, it's guaranteed, right? Surely guaranteed it's going to be a power Limit Breaker character or a technique Limit Breaker character. So aka, we're about to get a broken tech character or a broken power character, which is what the attributes desperately need, both of them. It's either or. Could be both, I doubt it, but it's either or. Now, since we just gotten a technique super pop farmer, I don't expect us to get the technique Limit Breaker character. I'm more so leaning on the side of it being a power character, and that's also my wish too, because power does need a good character, because man, they are in a bad spot right now, right? They basically only have like 8th anniversary Ichigo, 1000-year Blood War Yamamoto, and also Rukia, and all three of the characters in their own ways have problems. And that's kind of why the most recent end of month banner wasn't as exciting as it could have been. Because one, it was a 2-character banner with one of them being a Naz character. But like the power character we need ended up being a Naz character, which is what we don't need for the most part, right? With that in mind though, let's do a quick recap. I might have rambled on long enough. I expect this banner to be 1000-year Blood War. I'm more so leaning on the side that they are going to go in chronological order. So I guess my main prediction would be Soifon and BG9. Kind of just makes sense to be next in line. I am curious on how they have plans to finish up the Toshiro story that they started in the point event. And when it comes to the characters themselves, I'm expecting at least a broken SS tier power character or a broken SS tier technique character. Either or can be good. Would be nice if we can get both. Like, we don't have to just get one good character in a banner. Both can be good SP characters. You know, getting a good, strong SP tech character and power character, I think would be kind of cool. Bijin and Soifon, I could see them match those attributes. And at the same time, remember, we did get some data mine skills. One character potentially might get a party killer effect increase. So hopefully that doesn't mean another Naz character. And there's also going to be another character potentially start off the quest with 2 soul bombs. Not have it tied behind getting a certain amount of kills. And that kind of screams Limit Breaker to me. Either way, let me know your prediction in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.